Hello, my very dear Gemini people. The image that I saw for you, this is for the week of October 13th, theoretically, or when you hear it and it resonates. Won't be for all Gemini. It might be for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or a lot of Gemini in your chart. Gemini, what I saw for you was a diagram of a head with the brain, just like an illustration like that, and with the head off. So no blood and guts when I say diagram. It's a representation of the head with the brain. And what they were showing me was the lid coming right off. Now, this is not a sign of you losing your lid or losing your head. Rather, it is about let some air into your thinking, because as much as you can have a lot of air running around in your brain, you don't always, what they're saying is you don't always give yourself the space to be able to let your thoughts stop. It's almost as though the pressure builds up, the energy builds up in the brain in a way where it can't release. And sometimes you really need to just be able to find a way to create space for circulation of energy that is not thought energy. Thank you. So meditation, prayer, but something that is really not linked to thinking or reflecting, something that is just no thought. Okay. Now, the other thing is, what was it? It was very clear. Giving yourself space to allow, okay. And also, what I feel as though as I'm saying this is, I would really encourage, I'm trying to be careful how I communicate this feeling coming through. Whatever you can do to take pressure off yourself. And when I say pressure off yourself, the feeling that I'm getting with this is that there has been a lot of doing for other people with a certain momentum behind it. One thing, the next thing, the next thing. And that's not uncommon for Geminis. Because they can be very comfortable doing many things at once in some way. But what they don't necessarily always realize is that it is gradually creating a strain on their system to do that. By doing that, they are making a choice to do things often for other people, not necessarily because it's coming out of a sense of genuine wanting to help. Sometimes it's coming more out of just the fact that they're so habitually used to helping people that they don't stop and question whether or not it's good for them. They don't look at how they are, how that choice is affecting their life, their choices, what they get to do for themselves. And this is where that sense of, it's like this, I won't say driven, but it's almost like a driven quality. It's that expected thinking. It's that structure of thinking that you're in that is just of course, it's almost like a knee-jerk reaction that you do it. And what you're being really asked to do is to look at how not taking time to be still in your thought perpetuates that tendency for yourself. Now, it doesn't mean to say that you don't take time out, have a hot bath, all of that stuff, I'm going to speak in proper English now. It doesn't mean that you're not doing things that look self-nurturing. But for you, Gemini, self-nurturing best takes place at a level where you allow yourself to deliberately and consciously step out of the next thing you are doing just because you were asked, or because it's expected, or because, I don't really mind. No. Can you start making choices based on, yeah, that would feel really good to do that? Okay, this is a big thing for you. Now, you've got the God is head over heels in love with you card. So for those of you who are doing it out of some sense of the fact that it is spiritual and right to always do, or to 99% of the time do what you are asked to do, please remember that it's not always spiritually right. Right, wrong. It's not always in alignment with what you would like in your life. So you're being asked to look at that. If it's stopping you from doing something you really like, do you really want to do it? Or does it just become something that you float as a flag, as a, yeah, one day I'll do that, and having that in your possibility as a future, or having that as a future possibility gives you a sense of some kind of achievement or excitement or anticipation, but it's not the doing of it that you want to do, really. And if it is the doing of it that you want to do, check in. Check in, my dears. Why aren't you doing it? And how much more time do you have to do it? And again, how much more time do you have? It might be on a vacation. It might be because you want to do it before you retire. It might be because you want to do it before you sell your house, like whatever. And you're being really asked to look at that. Now, the other thing that can happen, Gemini, and this I think is an underlying feeling that I was getting with at the beginning of this, was that you can very easily go into overwhelm without realizing you're doing it. Because overwhelm, and that's with the letting the lid off your head, the overwhelm can happen gradually. It often feels as though it's happened all at once, boom, like that. But it's not. It builds up over time, and then there is the straw that breaks the camel's back. Well, the idea is we don't want you to go into overwhelm. We don't want the camel's back to break. So by paying attention to what is it that you really want, by checking in really deeply with what your motives are and not just the habitual answer that you would normally give, really leaning into what it means to love, okay? To be loving. You've got the love card, right? Which is really talking very much about the idea of doing things not from your ego, not from your personality, not from your pattern behavior, but doing it within the context of this reading, doing it from that real essential feeling of love that is within you, but also realizing, please, very much please, that doing things from, you don't always have to be doing things in order to be offering love. It can be a frequency, it can be a vibe. It doesn't always have to come with a present, a cake, a good deed. That your presence alone, when you are in a loving state, is powerful. It's powerful for the people you're around. It's powerful for the people you're thinking of. Okay? Now, the other thing you're being told here is, that the idea of meditation, if you can think of meditation or slowing your mind or changing your thought patterns around what you should and shouldn't do for other people, can you kind of surrender into observing yourself and using that as a way to get in touch with things at a deeper level? Don't just stop doing them. Although, I mean, that is one way to go, but chances are then you'll just feel guilty. But allow yourself to just kind of surrender into that place of observation as you're allowing yourself to investigate this. And then realize that you have, as you're in that state, you have a much greater connection to your intuition because you are in a place where your mind is receptive to thought rather than generating thought. Okay? So, Gemini, I think this is fairly self-explanatory. I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to remind you, you do have the ability to simply, well, you've got the can't and won't card, right? Can't is the language of a child, won't is the language of an adult. So what you're being told here is when you find yourself saying, no, I can't, stop in and say, yes, I can. That's your flag. That's your point at which you say, yes, I can, but Do I want to? How does it feel? What's motivating me? And you can use that, okay? Please take time to give your head, your thoughts, some air, some circulation, some space, okay? Take care, Gemini. Much love.